There we go.
It's quite feasible that at least one of these babies will grow up to be homosexual, even though there's a strong scientific theory that says none of them has actually been born that way.
That's you. That's you. I can
me.
see you.
Look at the jewellery.
It's probably because the odds are so overwhelmingly against it that most people find it hard to understand the kind of love that Phyllis and Francesca feel for each other.
How long ago was this?
1970, October.
The law condones it, but then many other women are revolted by the very thought of it, and a lot of the churches regard it as perverted and unnatural.
So that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Well, it was. It was nearly 48 years ago, and here we are, after nearly 48 years, still together in what you call married blitz.
Blitz.
Yes.
So what's for dinner? Vegetarian loaf sounded good.
Sorry?
A vegetarian loaf.
Oh, that's right. I've got that, yes. Even though we're not married, we have gold wedding rings, which we gave to each other July 1970.
Phyllis is perfectionist and I'm a slop.
And that actually defines us. It's hard to imagine 1970 not very open. Gorton was Prime Minister, Bolte was Premier of Victoria. We're talking about a conservative, liberal government.
Total bombing of North Vietnam, vast increases of troops, even land invasions of North Vietnam and Cambodia.
Germaine Greer published The Female Eunuch.
It's on about, you know, how one can ever make the most of life being a woman.
We were starting the beginnings of women's liberation.
Whether they're marching towards a brave new world or some sterile, loveless 1984, we may remember 1970 as the year it really began to happen.
There were no gay nightclubs. There were no gay newspapers then. There were no gay magazines. We couldn't walk down the street holding hands. It was just terrible. Women were invisible. Lesbian
Well,
women.
remember Queen Victoria? She
Yes,
just
I know.
couldn't believe it.
You have to try and understand the mentality at that time.
It's probably because lesbianism is relatively inconspicuous that a lot of people still find it difficult to believe that it really does exist. This is how the figures work out for 100 girls. 80 out of the 100 will be entirely heterosexual. The other 20 will probably be involved in some kind of lesbian experience during the course of their lives. However, of that 20, 15 may simply display only vague homosexual tendencies without ever actually taking part in a lesbian act. Of the remaining 5, 1 would be capable of lesbianism only under extreme circumstances. 2 would be bisexual in varying degrees. 1 would be lesbian but capable of limited heterosexual feelings. And only 1 in 100 would be exclusively homosexual.
This day tonight, asked if we would go on the program. Nobody was keen to go. Actually, I was.
There you are, cigarette in hand.
When were you first aware that you were in love, as it were, with another girl?
Well, I suppose even at 17 I could say this, but I was very ignorant about homosexuality and especially about lesbianism. And I think I pushed it to the back of my mind and I thought, well, perhaps it's something that goes away with time. And I was just over 20 when I had my first lesbian relationship.
Why did you never get along with men?
I don't think I found the right man to suit me. I have been out with a lot of men in the meantime. Since that relationship broke off, I had been out with men, I have been engaged, and that's been broken off.
Were you engaged because you were in love with the man, or were you engaged because you felt you wanted to try and make a marriage.
There were a lot of reasons why I got engaged, mainly pressure, social pressure.
In actual fact, it was just a bit of a minefield. We weren't prepared for the sort of things they would ask.
Have you at any time attempted to have a heterosexual relationship or...
No, no.
There were a lot of repercussions regarding that program. They were positive and negative, okay?
There were a lot of people ringing in and they were very upset about the program. I didn't think my parents would watch it. So the next day, a neighbour came in and said to my mother, "Your daughter was on last night," telling everyone she was a lesbian.
Well, it certainly had an impact on my career. The state librarian the next day rang me. That's when I was in public libraries, rang me and said, "I believe you were on television." And I thought, uh-oh, there goes my career. Quite a lot of our friends decided after watching that program that they would make the move.
A meeting of the Australasian lesbian movement, a group formed 2 months ago with the idea of establishing some kind of understanding in the community. But for the moment anyway, a lot of the members don't even pretend to understand themselves.
A lot of women didn't know how to get out of the closet. And so what ALM did was provide a forum. It was the first political homosexual organisation in Australia.
But will any amount of fighting, I wonder, ever produce a situation in which Australians will open-mindedly accept a love scene in the park or a scene in the street like this? Or is the gap between the community and the homosexual minority too deep and too wide for anyone to build a bridge across?
For the national result, yes responses, 7,817,247, representing 61.6% of clear responses. That's 61.6% of clear responses were yes. Every state and territory recorded a majority yes result. Every state and territory recorded.
It was tremendous, and I just felt so pleased for people younger than us that they were going to have this opportunity that we never had in those days, or never even imagined in those days.
You just need to be yourself. It doesn't matter whether you're gay, you're bisexual, you're transgender, you're... there's another word...
fluent. There's so many
gender fluid...
names now. That
pan, that's a new word. Just be yourselves. And we really didn't have that opportunity to do it properly. And now we do. Look at you.
Look at me.
Look at you.
I actually had hair.
I know.
Oh, this one where we
were so drunk.
And we had to go for dinner, to dinner with these 2 young gay women.
Very young gay women.
Oh, God, were we drunk.
We were just so thin and young.
He was still thin.